There's a legend round here. A killer buried, but not dead. A curse on Crystal Lake. A death curse. Jason Voorhees' curse.
Welcome back to the Hiding for Horrors podcast, where we review horror movies and horror movie franchises. I'm Mark.
I'm Tawan.
I'm Rudy.
I'm Maria.
And today we're watching Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood, released in 1988, directed by John Carroll Butchler, and written by Manuel Medelo and Daryl Hannah. Tawan, can you give the people a plot summary?
Years after the strange drowning death of her father, Tina Shepard, played by Lar Park Lincoln, returns to the site of his demise, Crystal Lake. Her developing psychic powers were responsible for ending his life, leaving Tina riddled with guilt as an adult, while deceitful Dr. Cruz, played by Terry Kisser, who tries to manipulate her abilities for his own ends. Both physician and patient are for a shock when Tina's powers unwittingly free camper villain Jason Voorhees from his watery slumber.
This whole movie is a what the fuck, like, what had someone's fan fiction come to life, but not in a good way. Now, Maria, this is your first time watching the whole franchise. What did you think of Part 7 compared to all the ones that came before it?
No, yeah, I mean, it was kind of weird because, what was the whole reason for her having powers? I don't know. It was like they're starting a whole new storyline for Jason, even though, I don't know. It was just weird. Like, why does she have powers? How did her powers, resurrect him? And
They didn't. See, I knew
oh,
one of you were gonna think that Jason isn't dead at the end of Jason Lives. They just threw his ass in the lake. And he kind of just
Yeah,
like he's just been down there dormant because he can't get free to kill anyone.
so then, he just got free?
All her powers did was loosen his shackles, which allowed him to like come up to the surface.
But why? How did that work? You know, she was over here trying to resurrect her dad in a way, and then she just happens to loosen his shackles. I don't know. That's weird.
That part,
It kind of
that part annoys me because you can definitely tell that there's two writers because the movie starts with her dad like beating her mom, hitting her mom, and he's a drunk.
Please don't drink anymore.
Don't tell me what to do.
And this is the dad she wants to bring back to life.
yeah. When she was like crying about him, and she's like, "I miss him." Like she was literally beating up your mom.
yeah, but that's
And he was a
probably
drunk.
just a trauma thing, though. Like, if she did kill him, like, she was a child, even though, like, she knew that was wrong, I'm sure she didn't want to kill him, but it happened, and obviously she felt bad.
I don't know. But overall, this movie is weird. Like,
This was,
yeah,
it was something.
it was what, Twan?
It was something. I don't, man, while I was watching it, I was a bore. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I was
Really?
bored because, like, it didn't feel like any Friday the 13th thing. I felt like I was watching, like, a screenplay for a movie, and the writer was like, I think the writer probably got told this is not going to get made, but somebody said, let's just stick Jason in here and we'll get it made for you. And that's what happened. Because nothing made sense.
What about you, Rudy? What'd you think about this movie overall?
I um I think I said this previously in the previous movie, but this is where I feel like Hollywood just completely lost inspiration to make a Jason movie and decided to like get inspiration from Carrie and incorporating that idea onto a Friday the 13th movie. I am not a fan of this one. I will admit that I haven't watched it recently, but I remember it obviously. And I just didn't understand the concept. Like, where are they trying to go with this girl with telekinesis? And like, she's, I don't know. The whole her quote unquote accidentally bringing Jason back to life, and then after that it's just like how to stop him, blah blah blah. I just feel like it gets repetitive after a while, and I am not a fan of this one for that specific reason that they just, I feel like they lost ideas and they're like, hey, let's do this with a girl with telekinesis and see if that works for a movie. It just wasn't. It didn't work out. It was very slow
If
paced. Go ahead.
so slowly paced.
Yeah.
It was so slow. Like, man, when I was watching it at the beginning, like in the first like 15 minutes, I'm like, yo, am I watching the right movie?
Right.
I I dreaded having to sit through this movie to take any kind of notes. I was not excited. I was annoyed. I was like, I don't want to do this. I hate this fucking movie. And it's weird because this movie is like sandwiched between my two favorite movies of the franchise. Like, I love part six and I love part eight, which is controversial, but I love part eight. And then you just have part seven, which is like weird as shit. Like, when was she drowned? When did this crap happen with her dad? Like, was Jason under like this also screws up the timeline because did this happen after part six? Are we like a whole decade removed from part six?
Yeah, like honestly, it was kind of weird because it's like the movie started off about her, and it was basically like a like I mean, it was like yeah, it started off basically about her. You know, everything was about how she was doing, her dad dying, her powers, and then Jason was just added in. Like I do agree with what Tawan said. It seemed like they just added him in for like a little bit of flavor, but it didn't. I feel like any serial killer could have gone in there and killed all these people, and it would have been the same movie. Like it didn't even have to be Jason. It didn't feel like a Jason movie. I just felt like some guy in a mask was just out here killing people, but the movie was really about a girl who has powers and she killed her dad.
And that whole like flashback reel in the beginning with the voiceover, I was like,
Yes.
why is this here? It felt like we got to be cool because by this time, Friday the 13th. I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street is like the biggest, baddest thing in the horror movie genre. Like Freddy's kicking ass, and then Michael Myers was making a comeback. So it feels like this was the movie where it was like, oh shit, we have competition now. We got to do crazy, wild shit. Like they got powers in Nightmare on Elm Street, so why not have some random chick in here with telekinesis? But also that little girl in the flashback. If I didn't know like the behind the scenes stuff or like the cast list, I would have sworn that she was that girl from the Poltergeist
that,
because they look a
that did
lot alike. But I think by the time this movie came out, that little girl had already died. So I was like, "Ooh, that's even worse." You got this lookalike in here when she looks like somebody who just died. Like, oh no. But Rudy, what are some of your favorite scenes or your favorite? No, let's go with your favorite scene. What are some scenes you liked, disliked, kind of indifferent about?
So my favorite scene, even though I'm like contradicting myself right now, was when he got resurrected. When Jason got resurrected, I felt like that was kind of unique in its own way. Um, just the entire scene of how he was like on the water, coming back to life. It reminded me kind of, sort of when he got resurrected during the intro to Freddy vs. Jason. And that was a really good, elaborate scene where
He
pretty
wasn't
much,
dead here though. He was still alive. He never died in
you're
part
talking about this
six.
one, right?
Yeah, he didn't die in part six. They just threw his ass in the water, and
Right, but
he
like the
just been
whole,
zombie.
yeah, like a zombified version of Jason. I mean, come on now. Like, you mean to tell me this killer is like living under the water and not dying? Like, how does he have oxygen? Like, how does he breathe?
He's dead. He
So
doesn't need oxygen. He just stuck down there.
So he did get resurrected then, or is he like a demonic?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, he
Well,
was resurrected in part 6 with the lightning bolt. When they were trying
right,
to bring him back, but
which
he
is kind of
hasn't
stupid.
died since. Yeah, but he hasn't died since then. Like she,
Mm,
all she did was like rattle his chains. She pretty much
yeah,
woke him up. She woke him up from being asleep, and then she like loosened his chains, but he wasn't dead. Still a cool
yeah,
scene though.
it is a cool scene. I like that one. I always like the scenes where he's like either dead or underwater, and they just have like that underwater shot of him. It's such a good shot. I don't know why. I'm a big fan of underwater anything, so that it's really cool to see him like floating or like just doing his thing. That was my favorite scene. My least favorite scene, I would have to say, is any scene with Tina because I don't really like her. I think she wants to be. I think she wants to be. She wants to be Carrie stuff. I don't know. I know she's supposed to be like the bright one of the bunch in the movie, but something about her, I don't know if it's just the actresses or
Save it.
it's I don't know. I feel like all these final girls look the same to me in these Friday the 13 movies, and they just blonde hair, like butchy looking, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that was just an 80s thing though, to cast these like bimbo looking girls to be like the smart ones of the bunch and etc. Um,
One director did say you need the big boobs to be in
yeah,
Friday the 13th movie.
but big boobs can only do so much in a movie. You get me? Like, where's I'm not even talking about like the physical appearance, but just like give me something for me to root for you, girl. And then she wasn't giving me that.
We were
So
all rooting for you.
yeah.
What about you, Maria? What did you think about? Let me redo that. What about you, Maria? Do you have any scenes you liked, disliked, kind of indifferent about?
I mean, I did like that underwater scene, like in the beginning. Well, no, I mean, like of Jason. I don't know, like that take is just so nice, like it just looks good. Um, there was this one scene where that girl with the blue dress is like walking around after she like fixes herself and stuff, and who falls on her? Like, who is that? Like the guy who like falls on her when she's like trying to look for David.
I forgot who that was. It wasn't David though.
No, well, whoever that was, I because it was really funny to me because
Oh,
he
it was
falls
the
on
black
her.
guy, wasn't it? Wasn't it the black guy?
Was it?
I think it might have
I
been
don't
that.
know. They like got him in the face.
Now
I think it might have been the black guy.
this is it's
That's what
really bad. I just watched this movie and I it's already
I
leaving.
could. I could swear it was the black guy because didn't Jason like smushed, like crushed his face, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
I don't know. Well, whole point is he like fell on him and she screams, and then Jason just pops out of nowhere, and that scene was so funny to me because it looks like he's just waiting for her, for like this guy to fall on her and to scream. He just pops out like, okay, like I'm ready. Um, Same thing with the scene when he's gonna kill the doctor, and he just like brings out this saw thing, whatever the fuck that was. Like all you hear him is like ramping it up, and then he just chases him with it. I don't know, that part was funny to me. Like these parts, like this movie wasn't great, but it was funny. Um, or I thought it was funny.
I don't know how I feel
Um,
about Jason using power tools.
I was like, what the? I was like, where the hell did he get that from? Like, they're in the middle of the woods. Like, where did you? It was funny to think that he saw these tools and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna bring these back, and brought them back to the woods to use. I don't know. It was just a funny idea. It was, I don't know. It was okay. Um, Scenes that I didn't like. This scene where like the dad's about to drown, because literally it took, first of all, it took him a second. It took her a minute to like to drop him in the water, and then like the way the dock moves was like, what the fuck is going on? Because like it's literally like swaying back and forth, like
Yeah.
just destroy the whole, it was so unnecessary. I don't know.
Tuan.
I I think a scene that I did like was the whole like ending like battle between Jason and Tina, just because of how funny it was to me. Like Jason is using brute strength and she's like fighting him with telekinetic powers. It's like the last thing I would have expected to see in these movies, and I kind of knew about this one before I seen it. Like I think I've actually seen clips of this movie, but like watching it in its entirety, this is probably like one of the funniest things because that whole like ending battle was just it was it was it was it was just so out of the ordinary from what I would expect from this series. Like I really didn't even know like what like area of stuff we were getting into now, and it they like kept it like really serious too, which made it even more funny to me. So I guess I did like that scene, and yeah, I will agree with the rest of you that the when Jason was resurrected, that was like a decent scene and such. But there was, I would say, scenes that I probably didn't like or dislike. Definitely the one where the doctor got Tina's mom killed. I just didn't like. I didn't like it because he was just a dick for that.
What are you doing? Oh my
Like they could have both just kept running and got away, but he was like, "I'm gonna just sacrifice her real quick." So that was just a dick move on his part. But like I can't even think of much to like recall back to because like I just really wasn't feeling the movie that much, and I don't think there was much to really even like say or anything. I don't really think there were like that good of kills or things of that matter. Even in the past movies that I weren't feeling from the franchise that much, I had at least some decent stuff to say, but I don't think that applied for this one.
Well, speaking of kills, like for me, the only kill that I thought was cool was the sleeping bag kill. Because he just picked
Yes,
that shit up, but both of them, damn, and the sound it made when he threw it,
yeah, I was like,
it was
okay,
like,
that's where that came from. But
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that caught me way off guard. I did not expect him to do
yeah,
that.
I was like, okay, so that's where that came from. That makes sense. That makes sense now. It was better in the remake
So,
though.
but you guys don't have any favorite kills or kills that were interesting?
I thought the
Anyone?
one I thought the one kill where he like was ripping the dude's jaw off, like that would have been cool if I saw it. But like they like wouldn't, but like obviously they weren't showing like much of anything in this one since it was PG-13 as well. So it kind of it was kind of boring. But the sound effects on it were nice. That was I think that was the black guy. He killed him. He was like ripping his jaw off basically. But besides that, everyone else was either like axe to the face, stabs. It was boring.
Maria, Rudy, you guys don't have anything? You don't have any kills you enjoyed?
I mean, the sleeping bag was a pretty out of pocket one that I don't know. I didn't think he would have done that. Definitely thought he was gonna like take her out of that sleeping bag and kill her, or stab her. But no. The only other one that I can think of is I forgot who he did this to, but he basically I think it was Michael, where he like basically not stabbed him, but pierced him with his arm.
Oh yeah,
I thought that was a pretty good kill. I mean, it was an okay kill, but because I mean, yeah, usually he just stab and cut, and like I mean, yeah, when he like crushes that one guy's face, because like the camera is like all up in his face, and then Jason is just like crushing his head. Um,
Oh my god, yes, I was just gonna mention that.
yeah, because I don't know, I thought they were just like they were gonna like pan to Jason and you weren't gonna be able to see like his face get crushed, but you do like you totally see like the
oh
blood come
yeah.
out
That
and
was nasty.
yeah.
That was intense.
What about you, Rudy? You have anything else besides that?
I was actually gonna mention also the Michael scene. That was, I mean, I've seen it before in a Friday the 13th movie where he like throws his machete at someone and stabs him in the back. but Jason was obviously not having it, and he was going back to end it because usually when Jason well, not even Jason, just any serial killer in a movie throws their weapon at someone to like pierce them, they just they act like the person died. But Jason went back and still managed to like stab the fuck out of Michael till he died, and then
Yeah,
throw his ass like two.
I thought he was gonna like kick the knife into him or something.
Yeah, but he just ended up picking him up with it. That was a
Yeah.
decent scene. Obviously the what is it? The sleeping bag scene. That one was
Mhm.
good too. Reminds me so much of the remake. When I'm not gonna spoil it, but there's a sleeping bag scene in that one as well.
Don't be hyping that movie up for Maria. Don't do that.
They
Or for
actually were
people who are
some really
listening.
good. They were
It
really
was
good death scenes in
yes,
that
it
one.
was better in that one,
It's a lot of style with no substance.
I'm dead.
which is most of these movies. Actually, no, a
Mhm.
lot of these.
Don't.
Actually, no. These movies are missing a lot of style. They could use
Yeah,
some style. They could use a lot of fucking style.
style 'em, baby.
Blasphemy.
But yeah, those are the only two scenes that I like. Everything else was basic shit that machete kills and also that face crushing one was also decent because it's intense. Like, can you imagine someone
That
crush your
black
head?
guy's face?
Yeah, can you imagine someone crush your head like that? And like, I have never heard of it bleeding though. I just feel like it fucks up your oxygen and you die.
It looked like he ripped his jaw off, though. I don't think he just crushed his
Yeah,
face. It looked like when he crushed him, like he pushed into his jaw and ripped his shit off. But we
that
couldn't see
makes sense.
that.
Yeah,
I want to know the telekinesis. Was it working for y'all?
It was
Because
not.
I feel like if the practical effect was better, I wouldn't have minded. But it looked bad, didn't it?
yeah,
It
it was fucking dumb.
it looked. I don't think it looked bad. It just like caught me off guard, and they didn't really. It didn't. It just. It just didn't fit enough to where it was like every time it was brought up, I was kind of like, okay, so we're actually just really going here with the telekinesis thing, and I don't know, it just wasn't working for me. So like every time it did like come up, like I was just like, okay, so they're just throwing shit at the wall at this point and trying to see what stick, and that was not really sticking for me. She was giving very much Jean Grey and X Men because she was always using them damn powers and then passing out.
Honestly, I think I wouldn't have minded the power so much if she wasn't making such weird faces. While she was
Or the
having
body
these
twitching,
powers.
or the body twitching. Like, are you about to pass out?
Yeah. Right? Like, I mean, I guess maybe if she's not used to using them, but it's like, come on, like, chill out. Stop doing that. But I don't know. Because it was just like I liked her in some scenes. I kind of liked her a little bit in the beginning, but then she just got kind of just weird, like towards the end. And then when she was, I guess, I don't know, like, I don't know if maybe it was just a character I had the issue with. Like, honestly, the telekinesis didn't really bother me because, I mean, we're literally dealing with a Jason who was brought back to life by a lightning bolt. So at this point, I'm not surprised they did this.
uh,
But it's just like, yeah, like fix your face. I don't know. you know? Like they made her seem a lot crazier than they should have, even after finding out or like even after the whole, her finding coming to terms with her powers. Like, you know what I mean? They just made her seem so weird, like on purpose. Like her actress was really trying to portray a girl who's very disturbed.
yeah.
And it's like you do not have to go that
And
far.
that's and I guess that's why like I feel like this should have been like a different movie because I feel like if this was just well if it was a different movie it would just be Carrie at that point, to be honest, with like a Doctor Loomis type doctor in there to toss in a little sprinkle, I guess. But like it feels like it should have been like a different movie, but like Jason was just like added into like this story to like somehow fit. And like Mark brought up earlier, said it was like Carrie versus Jason, and that was hilarious because that's literally what this felt like.
Yeah.
Social outcast girl with telekinetic powers fighting a slasher.
I am not a fan, like I said previously, of the idea of telekinesis being incorporated in a movie that clearly is focused on a killer, because it's like, who do we focus on here? Like the girl with powers or the serial killer who's killing off the people? And it's like a battle between the two. I know hers is like means well, but Jason's out there to kill people, and I just don't feel like it. I don't know. It didn't go well with the theme. Right? I just felt like they should have just stuck with a normal girl who's trying to save the day without the powers. Because once you add power to any kind of movie, it makes it so unbelievable. And I'm not saying that the other movies are like believable, but like, do you really think you're gonna go camping with your friends and strangers or whatever, and have that one person in the group with telekinesis to save the world? No. So I always like to like, what is that term? I like to fuck, what is that term? To see
What?
myself as the character.
Oh, okay.
Like, okay, what would happen if we were like terrorized by some killer in the woods? Do I like ask one of my friends, "Hey, do you have powers by any chance?" No, like it just makes it so unrealistic to me, and that's what ruined the movie. Same with Carrie. I never was a fan of the movie Carrie for that reason. I feel like it's not realistic. I have yet to meet someone with telekinesis, so yeah.
I don't know. I think Carrie's realistic. She just got driven to that point real hard. Them bitches deserved it. I don't care.
No, yeah, the whole movie, the concept was realistic, but the telekinesis part, like, okay, I want to have some
Oh yeah.
telekinesis,
I mean,
like,
yeah, like that's just like, but I mean, yeah, we know that, but like, I get what you mean though. Like, it's not realistic, but like, I feel like at least in this movie, even though yeah, we're dealing with a fucking murderer who at this point
yeah,
who was brought back from the dead, but like I don't know, that's more believable than to be in this movie to get him to come back than this girl now having telekinetic powers. Like, what's next?
yeah, I agree.
I just thought it was weird. The effects look bad. Like y'all could have pulled that string faster. Like how did Carrie come out 10 years before and look way better than that? Like it
Yeah.
made no sense. And like you right, Maria, she got to fix her face because like I couldn't tell if she was like having a stroke or a seizure or she was about to shit her pants. But the whole body, like the body movement she was doing in the face, like it wasn't doing what it was supposed to be doing, and I felt very uncomfortable. And I was like, I know Jason a zombie, but this is going too far. Like this,
Yeah.
this is too much. But let's talk about some of the characters. I want to start with Tina's mom, Mrs. Shepherd. I didn't like her off the bat. Like like after the whole like that scene where she gets slapped. The next time we see her, I'm like, she looks like she's a bitch, so I have no sympathy for her, so I don't like her. But Rudy, what did you think about Mrs. Shepherd, Tina's mother?
Mrs. Shepard was like just there to me. She reminded me of, the typical suburban moms who just care for their kids, but also has like that side of her that doesn't give a fuck. And I again, this goes back to like the character, the actress who was playing the character. She gave me that vibe where I don't think she pulled it off as a motherly figure, if that makes any sense. So, I mean, not that I remember, but like, are there even many scenes with her in it? I forgot. I just remember her being like
Tina spent more time with the
with the,
therapist than she did.
yeah.
Yeah,
So like, I don't really have much to say about the mother, except bitch, get your daughter out that motherfucking Camp Crystal Lake before she gets slaughtered. Like that was my first instinct.
she was the worst mom we've had so far. Wait, we only
Yeah.
had one mom. We only
No,
had
I
that
think
one mother.
I think the worst mom award goes to the mom. What's her character's name in Nightmare on Elm Street Part Three, The Dream Warriors?
Oh, dog, that movie. Yes, that mother is horrible.
She just
Gee,
chose to take
I
over her
can't.
daughter.
I can't wait. I can't wait till we get there because that movie. Oh my god,
Yeah, but this,
coming soon.
yes, but that reminds me of that mom. Basically, like she's just, I don't know, what's up with these moms in the '80s? They just didn't give a fuck about their kids, you know?
They gave that was that was the latchkey generation. I was a latchkey kid. I shouldn't be judging.
Yeah, the
I don't
mom.
know.
Her mom was
I
weird
don't know if
as
y'all know that. Weird as shit.
yeah.
What about you? Wait, but go ahead. What do you think about the mom?
I felt like if your daughter is telling you that she doesn't want to do like freaking doctors experiments and shit, why are you making her keeping her there so she has to do that shit?
Money.
Cause oh yeah, you're
She
right,
went out that money.
you're right. But like I feel like I don't know. Like I feel like use a bit of common sense. Cause like what do you think like will come from this? You think like oh like you're just gonna get paid for research? Like come on, use a little more like brain thought. Like if this is real world, you already know once he got that video, that shit getting sent off to some government in the government facility, and her ass about to get caught. But like yeah, like her mom but like even if it was for money, like she should have listened to her when she didn't want to like do the shit anymore. Like it's your daughter and like she already took care of one of y'all problems. She could take care of you too. So just get her out of there.
Maria.
Yeah, she was kind of like, in the beginning she was with that awful man. Um and then I don't know, when I saw her pop out with that doctor guy, and she was like defending him so hard. And then like, I mean, I don't know if this was just me, but they had like her and the doctor had like a little bit of tension going on.
Yeah,
She's just like those some people just can't make great partner um choices, and like you can obviously tell like he was just not in it for Tina at all. He was weird. He was out here yelling at her for like no reason. And I'm like, you really, I don't know, like, I don't know. I didn't really like her. Like, she was like, it just definitely seemed like she wasn't there for Tina at all, except like at the end when she like finally saw everything. Like, really, like you've been with Tina like your whole life, her whole life, and you really want to act like Tina doesn't have some type of powers. I don't know. I thought she just doesn't seem like she seems like those the type of mom who just pushes like her issues onto like other people, you know what I
hmm
mean? Like she like I'm like I mean obviously like they don't show us here, but it just doesn't it seemed like as soon as she saw something was wrong with Tina, she just went, well, let's just go to like the mental hospital or something. And that was it. Like it just doesn't seem like she even tried, to understand her. Like I don't know why the hell she believed that damn doctor so much.
yeah, he was
He was
sketchy.
Right?
he was just so creepy to me. And he did a lot of questionable things even in the beginning, and she was just like okay, like especially when they first came up, and and the mom was like, "Oh, like this is good for you, blah blah blah," and she was like, "Good for me or good for Dr. Cruz."
Yeah,
And then she was like, "Oh, well, he's just here to help. He'll heal you." And then like she talks to him. And then like they like meet up, and she was and I don't know what Tina. Oh, then Tina like walks away to go get stuff out of her trunk, and then her and like the whatever, and her and the doctor have like this conversation, and she was like, "Are you sure?" Obviously expressing some doubts, because why would it be in any way good for her to be literally in the same place where her dad died, where basically her whole trauma started, I guess, whatever. He was like, "Oh, no, don't worry. I have a whole treatment, blah, blah, blah." And then she was like, "Oh, yeah, like, you're right. you'll help her, like you'll do it. Like really? You didn't even like question, like she questioned it for 5 seconds and then just folded so fast. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I think I'm basically done because
We'll keep talking about
she like questioned
Dr.
it.
Cruz.
Huh?
Dr. Cruz. What you think about him? Were they equally bad?
Uh, yeah, well, I don't know. I think he was worse after he like I don't know why he didn't run away. I don't know why he had to hold her
Literally,
and basically pushed her towards
that pissed
Jason.
me off so
Oh,
much.
I feel like he did that because he kind of just wanted her to die. Um, like he just wanted her basically out of the
Shit, I
picture.
was.
Cause then like yeah, cause then like when Tina came, he was trying so hard to like get her to leave. Like you didn't do that to the mom. I don't know. He was a creep. He was a creepy man.
Yeah,
Rudy.
I agree with Maria, and uh, I hate doing this, but like I compared the scene to Halloween 2018 again with that fake ass Dr. Loomis who was like turning his back all of a sudden and wanted to be on Michael's side and wanted to kind of test Michael's potential. That's what that scene reminded me of with this Dr. Cruz. Like I don't know if he wanted to get rid of the girl, Tina, or if he just wanted to be on Jason's side. But then again, bro, you're gonna get killed off too. Like regardless of whether you're on his side or not, you know. So I didn't like Dr. Cruz either. I think he was more self-absorbed. He did everything just to benefit him, career-wise and professionally. So he got what he deserved either way.
Tuan.
Yeah, I thought the doctor was like he was giving like creep vibes. He was also just like really skeevy in the way that he was trying to like go about it. Like in the first meeting with her, he's like use your anger, like your emotions, get this out of you, like trying to like bait her basically to like use like the powers, which like I guess he was trying to view him, but like it was just the way that he was going about it really was like really weird, and it wasn't it wasn't like what you would expect from like a doctor, even though like but he was also just giving like the vibes of someone who was just trying to get a use out of this person who he could use for like either like medical grants or like using like a book or something like that, like someone that he could just exploit basically. And that's what all he was just trying to do with her, and he had like no plans of like helping her like control like herself, anything like that. Like he was just there so that he could get most to gain out of it. But besides that, his relationship with the mom, yeah, it was like weird. Like it was like I felt like it was like low key like sexual tension between them, but it was I don't know. It was also just kind of weird with that. And then yeah, him like going out of his way so that he could like put the mom in danger, so that she could get killed by Jason was just dick moves. Like overall, that was just really bitch shit to me. Like because they both could have gotten away, and I wonder if he like did that so like um Tina will have more of a reason to like use her powers now that like both her parents are dead, especially the one that she liked being her mom. So yeah, I was not feeling Doctor in this movie, and yeah, he could definitely stay dead.
What about Nicholas?
I noticed that a lot of the guys, like the final guys, kind of look the same. Like I swear, Nick looks like the guy from
The previous one.
yeah, from like when Tommy first killed Jason. He looks like that guy. I forgot, like the one that him and his sister had like a little weird thing going on, even though he looked old.
Mm, I forgot his name, but I know who you're talking
Um,
about.
Yeah, but they kind of look the same. Him and Tommy even kind of look like. I noticed a lot of them, like the final guys, look the same. Well, anyway, I kind of liked Nick. I thought he was like a good boy. He just kind of seemed like I don't know. I mean, it was kind of nice of him to try to be there for Tina. I feel like a lot of people wouldn't do that, especially if you just met them and then this bitch talking kind of crazy. I would have left. But no, he was like he was trying to be there for her. He was trying to understand her, and I thought that was so nice. I think it's the only guy I've liked from this whole series. Like genuinely actually liked. Like I thought his character was good. Um, No, I mean, I think he was really nice. He like defended her when he like needed to. When he like found out about the whole, someone's going around killing people, he was trying to come up with a plan. He was like, let's get everybody together and just leave, which is like, facts. Everybody has to leave, but everybody's dead by then. But um, yeah, it was just I liked him.
I agree with Maria. He was likable as a character, and again, I'm gonna have to use a reference to the Friday remake. It was similar though with Jared. What's his name? Jared Padalecki. And he was looking for
Yep.
his sister, and I'm not gonna go into it because we're gonna do that. I'm pretty sure, but it's like strangers meet, and I guess it was like not even love at first sight, but they connected somehow. They vibed it out, and he stuck it through, and to the end, and he wanted to help her and be there for her, and I think that's pretty nice. Yeah, I won't meet someone like that nowadays. So kudos to him, to Nick. Um, he was a handsome character, I would say. Um,
He got a strong gay face.
yeah, very much so. But overall, I like this character. I don't have much to say about him either, except that he was likable.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he like I think out of most of the people in this movie, he was the only character I didn't have an issue with. Like, he was likable, and even though Tina, like, most of the time was like saying questionable things, not like questionable in a bad way, but just like if I was like a friend of Tina's or like at that same like party and stuff, like at the house with her, and she started acting all weird, I'd be like, yo, this bitch crazy. But like he was staying by her side, so like that was nice, and he actually did like her and like wanted to help her in any way he could. Now he's way better than me because I wouldn't have stayed to fight Jason, but the fact that he did stay there, he a real one for that.
I should say this is the first Friday the 13th movie I've ever seen because of the actor who plays Nicholas. Now I've told y'all I'm a soap opera fan. I don't care, and he played in like two of the soap operas I watched. But I have to say, knowing that he buddy gay, I wasn't feeling him and Tina. I was like, he gay as fuck. They ain't gonna be fucking. Let the bitch die. Leave.
Right. I don't even know why he liked her. Like I'm telling you, Tina, the actress who played her, was just not fucking attractive to me. Like Lord, she was just there, killing time.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like he just saw her and he was like, "This is it. Like I feel it. We're having like a moment right now." And she was just, twitching and shit.
Well, talk about her.
I don't know. Like if she just would have stopped twitching, everything would have been great. Like if she, cause she was twitching about everything. Like in the beginning, she was giving me like Bella Swan, Bella Swan vibes.
Oh,
She was like awkward, she was twitching, which I mean, I guess makes sense. So she basically just got out of, the mental hospital. So I guess we can excuse her for that. But she just didn't like, if she didn't have her telekinesis powers, she would have just been a background character. Like her character overall just didn't really give anything. It was all just based around the fact that, oh, she can move things and she can set things on fire. But there's really nothing else about her that like stood out. Um I do give her though that she was trying to go get her mom and she was trying to save everyone, and I'll give her that. But she also kind of barely did anything, you know? Like, okay, I'm sorry, but I feel like she could have that one bitch's name, Melissa? Madison. I forgot what her name was,
Oh, the one who,
but
The
yeah, the
bougie
one,
stuck up one.
yeah, the one who had like who she broke the pearl necklace on.
yeah, I feel like she could have totally saved her, but she didn't.
I mean, I don't know. I probably wouldn't have tried to save her. I don't know. She was being bitchy.
Hey, Tina, isn't this the way they wear their jackets back in the mental hospital?
She could have. That's on her actually. She shouldn't have been in that situation. No.
Okay, well, I think if she had the time, I mean, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't either. I would have been like shocked, but then like in the bottom of my heart, I would have been like, "Yo, fuck you, bitch." But I don't know. She just totally had time to just get Jason one way or another right there, and she just kind of didn't. Um, I don't. I mean, not that I know a lot of things about like telekinesis and all that stuff, but I feel like they gave her like a lot of weird powers, I guess. Cause yeah, she can move stuff, but then there was that one scene where she like set something on
Yeah.
fire, and it's like, why couldn't you just do that then? And then suddenly she could move fire, and then it switches back to like her just being able to move stuff. But I'm like, okay, if you can move stuff, why are you moving everything around the room except for the guy that's coming to kill you? You know?
Hmm.
Like she could have easily have moved him or thrown him out the window, but no, she's gonna like throw like a lamp at him. Like how is that gonna help anybody first of
Yeah,
all?
that's the thing. Like, she was throwing the most like useless items at him, thinking it was gonna stop him. Like, I don't like. I don't. We don't know the extent of her powers, but like, I don't know. She could have did a little more. Like, Shawty, like he was in the kitchen at one point. You was moving stuff from the other room, so like, I don't know, move the knives or something. Like, like
Exactly.
She was not doing it for me. Like any other. Like Carrie had the girls going crazy at the prom. So like Tina could have did something.
And what got me is the fact that it worked. She threw that one plant at him, that one small, skinny ass plant, and he falls back. Like, come on. Come on. Like, you really, 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 really want to tell me that it just knocked him out? I don't know. It was just like, I don't know. There was just a lot going on here, especially with her having powers. And I feel like that itself just wasn't consistent. I don't know. It's just me. I don't know. I just feel like the only thing that made her character worthwhile was her telekinesis powers, and that's it. Like she didn't really give anything else.
Who want to go next?
Well, I already said that Tina is not my favorite character for obvious reasons, but I don't know. I just can't get past the whole telekinesis thing in a horror movie, especially with a serial killer. Like it takes
Facts.
the attention away from the focal point, and that's Jason Voorhees. Like if they wanted to make a Carrie part two, fuck, they could have. But why add something similar to that in a horror movie and really think it was gonna work out? Like I think they were trying to show out and see and show the audience. Oh well, we're gonna add a girl with telekinesis to hopefully kill Jason Voorhees once and for all, and that was just a failure. Like I'm telling you, Hollywood at the time, like nowadays, ran out of ideas and they just wanted to somehow be creative, but it wasn't creative at all.
Well
Yeah,
said.
yeah, I agree with that. And I'm gonna just go back to my point I said earlier. Like Tina was a fake Jean Grey. She was definitely giving me like those vibes because if you watch X Men or like the X Men like old like TV show and everything, Jean was known for coming into the battle, doing some stuff, and then just passing out. And that's literally what Tina did. Like she used her powers, got overwhelmed, and then just passed out.
All right then. But before we wrap things up, Tuan, can you give the people the behind the scenes info?
Will do. So the budget for this movie was 2.8 million, and they brought in the box office of 19.1 million. Should have been lower. um, Interesting info though. The Jason versus Carrie concept was a last minute pitch for the movie. Following Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives, Paramount began negotiations with New Line Cinema for a crossover film with the Nightmare on Elm Street killer Freddy Krueger. When negotiations for that fell through, the studio chose to produce a new Friday the 13th sequel instead with What If the Girl Had Telekinetic Powers? And they were intrigued by the premise, so we got this movie. Crazy Ralph actor Walt Gurney is the narrator. Gorney returns to the series as the movie's narrator. It's his voice that can be heard in the opening of the film, telling the story of Jason Voorhees and his murderous history at Crystal Lake. It's definitely an awesome Easter egg for longtime fans of the series. During the filming of the movie, Kane Hodder, who played Jason, broke a world record as doing a fire stunt. When he was surrounded by fire near the ending of the movie, he was actually on fire at the time and was surrounded in flames for a full 40 seconds, and he set a new record at the time. The sleeping bag kill in the movie allegedly was inspired by the screenwriter's urge to kill his own sister. According to Haney, I used to shove my brother into a sleeping bag when I was a kid. I once had a fantasy of killing my kid sister that same way. I guess that's why it became so popular. And that man needs to go to prison right now. Critics' reactions. So currently the movie sits at a 35% on Rotten Tomatoes. Should be a little lower. The Chicago Tribune gave it a 1 star, citing its weak finale and predictable killings, as well as perceived misogynistic subtext to the entire series. And Signal.com wrote, "It's Hollywood's idea of every teenager's dream. A bunch of lovely, nubile young girls, a rusty cabin in the woods, a stash of marijuana, and gory galore courtesy of a zombie superhuman psycho killer."
Well, Tuan, kick us off. Do you cash or pass Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood?
I very much pass on this movie. I would like to never watch it again. It was very boring. It was like boring to sit through. A lot of the character was boring. They even made Jason boring. Like, come on now, the kills in the last movie were better, and they were also PG-13. But like in this one, it was like it got even worse. So I don't even know how you mess up that bad. So yeah, I very much pass on this one, and yeah, I will not be watching this one again after we finish this series.
Maria.
Yeah, I definitely pass. I don't need to go to watch this again. I don't need to go through it again. um yeah, just like what Tuan said, after this series, I'm probably never gonna watch this again. I'm probably never gonna think about it again. Um
This
yeah,
is the
so
one. This is the one you play during the marathon. We want to have sex, but not actually have something in the background.
no, this is
It's not.
not you
It's
like
not even a
there's
background song.
It's not even a
there's
background.
better stuff for that.
If I looked up from the screen and saw it on, I would actively change what I was watching.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be like, you know what, let's go somewhere else. Let's watch something a little better that we're not gonna watch.
Rudy.
See, I usually like to play fair and cash it for the viewers who haven't seen it. But honestly, this movie was horrible, and the storyline overall just doesn't work out for me. So I'm gonna pass on this one from the franchise because I just don't feel like it even fits with the aesthetic of a Friday the 13th movie. Pretty sure people won't regret my decision because they'll thank me later. Like they'll thank you guys later too for passing on this one. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I pass,
You
pass,
know it's
pass.
bad if Rudy passing.
Right. And for me, it's also a pass. This is the first movie I saw, but you could, if you're doing like a marathon to get like a linear story, if you skip this movie, you literally miss it doesn't affect anything else. You can watch 6 and go straight to 8 with no issue. So that's usually what I do because this movie is bad. It's bad. But it's over. So join us next week as you watch my favorite movie, Jason Takes Manhattan. I'm excited. It's my favorite one, even though some say it's the worst one, but they're wrong. Thank you, everyone.
The Haddonfield Horrors podcast is a Letters to Media production.
Should we do an intro?